What's up, everybody? I'm your host Z. Welcome to ModStars. Like, subscribe, and share because I'm going to piss you off. The V6 Camry is a budget sports car killer. Anywhere from 2012 to 2017, these cars weighed right under 3,500 pounds. You can find them used for about 15 grand, and they made about 240 horsepower to the wheels. Now, the current generation, being from 2018 to 2023, for those who are listening in the future, they weighed a little bit more than 3,500 pounds, made about 260 horsepower to the wheels, and you can find them used for anywhere from 25 grand to a little over 30 grand today. Now, what these two generations have in common is that they both have the 3.5 liter 2GRFE V6 engine, which is the same V6 engine that's found in the Lotus Evora and even the supercharged Lotus Evora. Now, there isn't much aftermarket availability for this car, but there is all that you need if you want to do these mods that's on you. You can get a cold air intake, be it from AEM, K&N, or InGen, anywhere from $350 to $400, and a D3 performance tune for about $630. Now, as I mentioned, not only the engine's the same as the Lotus Evora, but even for the IPS Evora, the transmission is the same as the earlier generation as well. Who's to say that you couldn't swap some internals if they were more robust for the higher power application into the Camry? Now, depending on the octane fuel that you're running with the tune and intake, you can make right under 300 horsepower to the wheels. And if you run flex fuel, you might make 300 horsepower or more on just an intake and tune, and in this case, fuel. That's all you really need. Now, there's also a LSD that you can add, because that's all that the Camry is really missing, from monkeywrench.com. They sell for about $1,200, if not $1,300. And they also have an install kit for an extra $150. So you got the acceleration, traction, and handling, and the extra power to go along with it in your Camry, making anywhere around 300 horsepower to the wheels. You're pretty much competing with everything in your area, maybe even beating it. You got V6, Camaros and Mustangs, even the V8s, honestly. Chargers, Challengers, maybe even some Scat Packs. You got the 350s, 370Zs, even the Infinity variants of the VQ engine, Super STIs, Civic Type Rs, the list goes on. And what's great about this, again, I mentioned the Lotus Evora earlier. As long as it could fit, you could find a supercharger and you can afford to do it. Who's to say that you can't take the supercharger off the Evora and put it on the Camry, like people take the LSA superchargers and put them on other Chevy engines for really LS platform builds? Just a wild thought, but it could be done. And then, at the end of the day, even if you wanted something more exotic and you couldn't afford it, or you just can't fit it, or it's not practical for your life, don't worry about getting a Lotus or any car like that. Get the Camry. You got the luggage space. You have the extra seats. You have the reliability and comfort of Toyota. Even if there are recalls on the Camry, they're usually small batch, and whether there are small batch issues or not, Toyota does a great job of taking care of those problems. So it's a win-win all around. It's a complete car. And no matter how good the Camry looks, it's still slept on because it is a Camry. But that's okay, because they'll wake up after you beat them. They might even cry in the car. Now, rumor has it, Toyota's working on a GR Camry, but we're going to talk about that in the next video.